Welcome to Neighborhood Chefs. I'm David, filling in for Ariana. Today we start off the show with Marie Borusso with her beef tenderloin and pastry with gorgonzola cheese and caramelized onions. Let's take a look.
Hi, we are here with Marie. Hi Marie, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Fine, thank you. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Marie Borusso. I reside in the Pelham Bay section of the Bronx, and I work as a personal chef and caterer for myself, and I also work on larger scale events for Sweet Basil Catering on the Upper West Side, which is a full service catering.
Oh, okay, nice. So what are you making for us today?
Tonight I am making beef tenderloin with gorgonzola cheese and caramelized onion inside puff pastry shells.
Okay, cool. So take us through the process.
Okay, first what we're going to do is I have a combination here of spices such as garlic, salt, pepper, paprika, and we're going to dry rub on the meat. This is actually a 2.5 pound beef tenderloin. So what we're going to do is generously season it on all sides, end tips included, because they can also add a great deal of flavor. So we're going to season it, rub it in, and I have a piping hot frying pan behind me on the stove. And what we're going to do is place the meat in the frying pan to sear in the flavor on all sides. You hear that? That's the sound you're looking for. That means the searing process will begin and it will lock in the flavor. So what we're going to do is let this meat go by itself for, well, not completely by itself, for about 10 minutes it'll take to sear it on all sides. But we'll do, every once in a while, we'll check it and turn it, and after that we'll put it in the oven for 500 degrees for about 9 minutes, and it'll be like butter in your mouth. Chop one onion, generously sized portion onion. This is an easy way to chop an onion. Take the ends off, cut it in half from top to bottom. If you're concerned about your eyes tearing up, you can run the onion under the water. Otherwise, you can remove the skin along with the first layer of the onion, and voila, it's peeled immediately. Because the outer layer is a little rubbery.
Right.
And then you can just make very fine slices of the onion. They caramelize quicker, and if the slices are all even, they will all cook at the same rate. Okay? So we just take them. Actually, we'll need some, I'm sorry. Okay. A little bit of butter, about a tablespoon of butter in the pan. Excuse me. An equal amount of E5a extra virgin olive oil. Okay, let that come a little bit up in heat. I like to make them thin because they taste sweeter, they cook faster.
Love the smell of onion.
Yeah, especially when it's cooking. Oh. Okay, so you put the onion in the pan, and it will all fall apart once it starts heating up and caramelizing. Nice little bit of onion in the pan, and thank you. I'll just wipe my hands off again. Thank you so much. And we'll add a little seasoning. salt, pepper, garlic, onion. To the onion, always want to flavor them as you go along. Not flavoring afterward, because if you do that, then the spices just sit up top. They really don't add much flavor. The next portion of the recipe is we're going to take let's check on the meat actually. Okay, I'm going to turn it a little bit. And just turn it. You see that sear? That sear? That's what you're looking for, a nice golden color. So we've gone to the next section of the meat. We'll leave that alone, let that cook for a few minutes. Keep turning the onions so they don't stick. And then we take our puff pastry. Now puff pastry is sold in the frozen section of most supermarkets. It comes in 6 individual servings per package, and what you do is you put it in the oven frozen at 425 degrees for about 20 minutes, and as it says, it puffs up and it becomes this delicious little pastry that you can use with either sweet or savory filling, and then you just take the top off and fill it with whatever you like, which in this case will be the beef tenderloin, the melted gorgonzola cheese, and the sweet caramelized onion. And it's just a party in your mouth. But in the meantime, we'll have to try not to rip the door off the oven because it's just about to smell really good in here. Oh, okay, here we go. Let that go for about 20 minutes. And give the onions a little stir. Oh, that does smell good. Woo! Oh, sorry about the mess. Okay, so that's there. We have that. Whoops. Okay. I'm a good cook. I didn't say I was a neat one.
They say that if you don't make a mess in the kitchen, then you're not cooking. It smells delicious.
Thank you. And then now we have the gorgonzola cheese, which I've grated. I purchased a chunk of gorgonzola, grated, put it in a microwavable safe bowl, and I'm going to pop it in the microwave oven for about 30 seconds on high, and then we'll have instant gorgonzola cream sauce. I believe if we mix it together and let it sit, it will all, doesn't it? You just want to, Okay. And if you like it thick, fine. If not, you can add a little bit of like skim milk or 1% or 2% milk to thin it out a bit. So that's the gorgonzola cheese.
Okay.
And now we will check on the meat again. Turn it around a bit. Nice golden color, right? Really nice. I'll put the onions up a little higher. Can cook. Oops. Hit them with a little more seasoning. There's also a little paprika in here, just to give it a nice little color too. When the onions caramelize, they have a nice golden brown color, but when you add the paprika to it, it's even more of a richer color and flavor. Okay. And let's check on the puff pastry. Okay, they're cooking along fine. Okay, now as soon as the puff pastry is ready, we'll be ready to take it out of the oven and put the meat in the oven. For that, we'd have to raise the temperature of the meat to 500 degrees. So we have the puff pastry at 425 now. When that's done, we raise the temperature of the oven to 500 degrees, and then the meat cooks, believe it or not, a large piece of meat like this for only about 9 minutes. But again, because all of the ovens are reconfigured differently, you just want to check it maybe after, I would say 8 minutes, because even 1 minute can make a difference between medium and dry. Yeah, it really can. Okay, so now we're going to take the puff pastry out of the oven after it has baked for about 20 minutes at 425 degrees. You see how that just puffed right up to its name, puff pastry. We'll set it over here. Thank you. We'll set it up to the counter. And what we're going to do is remove the puff pastry from the cookie sheet so that it can cool. And we can put that actually, we can put it right here for now. Okay, now let's run this way. Because what we're going to do is remove the meat from the stovetop, from the pan, and set it onto the cookie sheet that we just removed the puff pastry from. And we're going to put the cookie sheet back in the oven, this time with the beef tenderloin. And we're going to increase the temperature to 500 degrees. Remove, the onions have been caramelized. You see how they're golden brown and really soft.
It's smelling delicious.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, they do, right? So we'll take those, and what we'll do is we will set them in this bowl here. Cool off a little bit. Okay. Okay, let's pan that on the table. Then we'll take the meat. We'll put it in the oven now for about 9 minutes. Usually the meat takes about 9 minutes on the stove to caramelize, which is what you see here. And then inside the oven, it'll be about 9 minutes, give or take again, depending on the temperature of the oven. Now we are ready to remove the roast beef from the oven after about 9 minutes, and we shall see. It looks ready, but the way you know is let it sit for a couple of minutes before you can slice into it a little bit and see if it's a nice rosy red color, and if it is, then you know it's done. That's what we're looking for. If not, we can put it back in, and let's see. Something tells me this will be good. Yep. See, that's what you're looking for. That nice rosy pink color. And that means 9 minutes was perfect for this particular cut of meat. Okay, so we're good with that. And now we come back over to the board. Put the meat on the board. And while the meat rests a bit, I will scoop out the tops of the puff pastry shells so that we can fill them with this delicious mixture of the meat, the gorgonzola sauce, and the caramelized onions.
Okay.
So we'll just scooch that over a little bit, and then this is how you pop the lids out very gently because it's so delicate, the puff pastry, and it pops right out. And you can even eat these with a little bit of butter later on. And it's little clouds. They're like little pillow clouds. They're just little clouds of butter. They really taste buttery.
You look so good.
What about the smell? Oh.
Oh, it smells really forget about it.
Yeah, this is not the meal to have when you are watching your figure. This is the meal for a decadent dining experience, for sure. Okay. Between the smell of the butter from the puff pastry.
Yes.
The cheese, the onions, the meat, I mean, they're all great ingredients, really rich, and you put them together and it's just really delicious. Okay, so those two we'll leave aside for now. We've got a nice full platter. I'll set these aside. And now we can slice the meat a little bit. Okay, I like to make real thin slices, and the reason is because we're going to fill the puff pastry, which, as you can see, have very small openings. So just little pieces, because we're also going to mix with the meat with sweet onions and gorgonzola sauce. So you really don't need enough meat. You really don't need that much meat, rather, for each puff pastry because of the other ingredients that are going into it. Okay, so I'll do that. Much meat. That's probably enough for two, I'd say. And then the way you do it, you just take a puff pastry, a few pieces of the meat. Okay. And I'll put a little gorgonzola on it. If it's a little thicker, just gently help it along. with another utensil. And top it with a little bit of caramelized onions. And you are ready for a party in your mouth. Would you like to try? Enjoy.
Has some buttery. The cheese is a nice addition to it too, because it's different from the taste of the onion and the meat. It's perfect. Not to mention that this pastry cup is like phenomenal.
It just came out of the oven, right? Nothing beats fresh baked pastry.
Very good.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.